Sorry ass DJ.
Hey everybody, how you doing out there? And welcome to my next Ranking the Victims Deaths. I am on Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. And we got 20 deaths to actually talk about, but there are 18 spots because we actually have two sets. I believe it was two cops and two FBI agents or security guard that die very quick. Well, one of them's an aftermath one. I'll be kind of curious what you guys think about the kills, and if you guys want to rank them or give me your best or your worst, give me a comment down below. We shall discuss it. Okay, number 18 is a character named Edna. She's talking to her cop named Josh, and Josh is going to walk around the passenger side and get in the car, and then she's about to get in, and we got Phil the coroner. He's the first one that got possessed by Jason. He walks fast or runs and actually smashes her head in with the car door, and you can tell it's a dummy, and that's perfectly fine that it would be that way, but I just still think it's a really dumb death there. Number 17 is male customer. So they have a little diner. You actually got Vicky with a shotgun, and she's actually shooting at Robert, and he's one of the last ones to be possessed by Jason, and she shoots Robert with the shotgun. Some of the shrapnel actually hits this customer. The guy goes down and falls on a bench. He was just trying to escape what was going on, and he actually gets killed. Number 16 is going to be assistant coroner. After he gets a pat down by the FBI or security guys, he has pizza. He's walking in, and he actually sits down, and he's like, "Hey, Phil, how many people can actually say whatever they want to Jason Voorhees?" And he starts insulting Jason. Phil ends up having a probe. He actually grabs the assistant, pushes Jason's dead body off the table, and actually puts this guy in the table. So he gets him in the back of the head there, but they actually don't quite actually show it there. But it almost looked like, because the table has holes in it, and it looked like that he was going to try to smash his face through the holes. That would have been really messed up, but Phil just kind of pretty much just pushes this guy and then just moves on. Number 15 is actually going to be Phil's next death, is actually going to be the two security guards here, one played by Ken Halter, and then the other guys. What they actually show is the aftermath, where they show a news report where you got Kane, who was actually just laying there with a little bit of blood on the wall. He got blood on his face. Well, the other guy, his face is face down on the desk there, blood on the side and blood on the desk there. Again, it's okay. Number 14 is going to be female officer. We got Jessica, who actually just escaped from a horrible situation. Female officer says, "Hey, we can offer you some clothes. It's only cop uniform." Jessica's like, okay with that. So the thing is that you got Robert, who comes in after he actually takes out a couple people there. He actually walks into the room, grabs Jessica, holds her by the mouth, and just pushes this female officer towards the lockers. She goes down. You get a little bit of blood on the lockers there. As much as it's a very quick death, like a lot of these are, it does kind of give me a little bit of a chuckle more than the other ones that I actually just talked about. Number 13 is actually going to be Ed the sheriff. Jessica got this dagger from Duke. They're in the Voorhees house, and Duke accidentally, somehow, there's a trap door, which who knew there was, and fell into the basement. Ed walks in. Jessica's like, "Is it you?" And all this kind of bickering back and forth, and Ed's like, "Yeah, it actually really is me." He's trying to grab the dagger off of her. Then we get another officer that actually comes in and says, "Get away from her, Ed." Whenever there's all this confusion going on, Jessica unaccidentally stabs Ed. And I'm like, okay, just a simple stab. Number 12 is going to be Diane, Jason's sister. Diane's on the phone with her daughter, and then Josh comes in and, grabs the phone and hangs up and starts kind of getting into a little bit of a fight with her. She sees that it's Jason in the mirror there, and there's struggling going on. Steven comes in, and he starts beating up on Josh if possible. Well, Steven is picking up Diane. Josh goes and gets a butcher knife and just throws it right into Diane's back there. Well, as soon as Steven picks her up to her feet, she goes right back down. And I will say that that's at least somewhat cool and unique there, because Jason doesn't really throw his weapons at someone that much. He does, but not a whole lot in this franchise. Number 11 is going to be these two cops, and this is where I really am starting to like the death. Steven gets himself arrested by his friend, I believe it was Officer Parker. He has to eventually knock out his friend, grab his gun, because you got Robert who's attacking Jessica, and Steven comes and shoots him, and finally shoots him in the head there. Well, you get these two cops. I don't know if they're coming out of their locker or out of the men's room. What they do is they go check on Robert, and they're like, oh, I think he's actually dead. Robert opens up his eyes, grabs these two guys, and headbutts them together. And the practical effects gore that we actually get, I thought was great. Number 10 is going to be Steven's friend, Officer Parker. So the thing was that after Ed gets stabbed on accident by Jessica, and it actually turns out that Parker was the next person that Jason jumped into. He's about to go over, and he gets to the baby there, puts the baby down, and the little thing coming out of his mouth. Here comes Steven, and the only time that we ever see the machete in this movie here, he has the machete and he slices Officer Parker's neck. The guy goes down there, his neck opens up, and then we get that little monster, little slug thing that we get in the Jason Goes to Hell movie poster, and he's all over the place, and eventually ends up in the basement with his dead sister. And then when we get the aftermath of the officer, because everybody seems that when they do get out, once Jason's out of these people's body, they all die differently there. And with this guy, whenever they finally show him, he's completely a bloody skeleton. And I will admit, maybe just because of that, I would have took him up a little bit more. But I was like, no, I think this is still a good spot for him. Number 9 is going to be Alexis. Now, you got her and Deborah and Luke, and they're all going to Camp Crystal Lake, and 2 of them are going to go have sex. She stays outside. She's in a sleeping bag, trying to sleep if she can. She gets out of it to go pee real quick. When she's walking back, here comes Phil, grabs her by the shoulder, turns her around. He has a scalpel, and he starts slicing her face. Again, maybe a plain and simple one, but I really did like it. The only little thing I didn't like was I think that the editing was a little bit on the choppy side there. But other than that, I did really like it, because when you get the aftermath, you just see her laying by a tree there with her face all cut up. Number 8 is going to be a character named Creighton Duke, the one that was going to kill Jason, but it actually turned out that he was not going to be the one that was going to do it. When Jason gets reborn again, you get Duke, who actually, while Jason's trying to grab Jessica and the baby, Duke handcuffs himself to some kind of pole and handcuffs him to Jason, so Jason can't do anything. So what does Jason do? He grabs Duke, gets him out of his handcuffs, and gives him a great big bear hug until he crushes his back. And I just really do enjoy his death. Number 7, and I should have mentioned this before, is actually going to be the beginning of this movie with Jason Voorhees being blown up. I didn't mention this with his deaths back in December, so I'm like, I'm going to bring it up in this one here. So this is where we have the ambush, and Jason is chasing a woman in a towel. He's just about to kill her. We get all these flashing lights that come on, and it's the FBI, and they're shooting hundreds and hundreds of bullets in Jason, and he's doing like he's supposed to do, oh no, something comes down. I don't know if it's a missile or whatever it was. It blows up his entire body, and then all of a sudden there goes his head rolling right by his heart that's still beating for another 10 seconds. Number 6 is going to be a character named Pookie. Robert, who is going after Pookie, and you got Joey, who actually tosses him the gun. He gets one shot off. Robert does fall back a little bit, but then for some reason, I don't know if the gun jams, but he doesn't get any more shots off. He actually, Robert grabs Pookie by the top of the head there, and then puts his face in the fryer. Robert actually picks up Pookie. His face is all crispy and all that, just tosses him. Number 5 is going to be Joey. So you got Joey, who's actually hitting at Robert, trying to see if she could save Pookie. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't quite work. When Robert is picking up Pookie, he actually elbows Joey right in the mouth and caves her fucking mouth in. And I just kind of like the way that her body kind of her head shakes a little bit, and then she just kind of falls there. But I think that's a pretty messed up death that I really, really thought, yeah, this definitely deserved to be in the top 5. Number 4 is going to be Warren. Now, this is actually Joey's son, who actually works at the diner there. So he actually goes out of the diner. He has a gun with him. We got Robert walking towards him. Warren actually points a gun. Robert kind of, covers up the gun there and does this. So I don't know if he maybe twisted the gun or twisted the arm. But then Warren ends up actually using his other hand, does the fist. Again, Robert catches it, and then a bone comes out, and I thought that was gnarly as hell. I was like, oh, I do enjoy that death. Number 3 is actually going to be Josh. Whenever he actually comes in to the Voorhees house, because Robert's already there, and he's talking to his, I think his TV producer, turns Robert into Jason because he's switching bodies here. Well, what does happen with Josh is his face, his hands, his entire body just starts melting. And even at one point, he puts his face against the wall and the skin's like coming off onto the wall and all that. I thought was really gnarly there. Then you get it where he's pretty much like bottom jaw actually is already on the floor there, and his body's kind of doing this, which I don't know if it was a human or possibly an animatronic or not like that, but just the whole where his head's kind of doing like a little Stevie Wonder, and then just kind of falls right on to his jaw there, and I thought, oh, this was a gruesome death. Now, my top 2 were really tough, and I kept thinking which way I really wanted to go, but the runner-up ended up actually being Vicky. So with her, she continues actually using the shotgun on Robert here, still not killing him. Then all of a sudden, she's like looking around, she finds a metal pole, and she actually runs towards him and stabs him in the stomach or in the chest area there, and she actually must have pushed it a little too close because he was able to grab her by the shoulders and push her in, and she gets impaled too. Blood's coming out of her mouth, and she says, "Go to hell." And Robert kind of smiles a little bit, grabs her by the head, smashes her head, and some blood comes up, goes up like a volcano, and then some of it splashes onto Robert's face there. And I thought that was really good. My number 1 has to be Deborah. Her and Luke are actually having sex. You get Coroner Phil that comes, has a metal pole. It goes through the tent and through her there. Luke is screaming like, "Oh my God, Debbie, Debbie!" And he actually slices her from wherever he stabbed her, probably from the stomach up, and slices her like through the shoulder, half of her body sliding that way and about to go that way, at least what they actually show there. But we don't ever know what happens to Luke. I'm assuming he does die. I don't think he's gonna Jason's gonna leave a witness like that there. But I thought, oh, that was a great, awesome freaking death there. So there you guys go. There are my victims' deaths for Jason Goes to Hell. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in the next one. Bye.